The main two objectives, if you look at the questions, were to lower the fine for possession of marijuana, and there's a note by Nathan at 25 grams or less, which is an ounce. I think other municipalities have put that cutoff, but I would like to explore that more of how that, where that resides, that cutoff. And then the second thing would be to understand when we have to refer cases. So the federal law, that's what this public policy forum says, the federal law and state law still remain. And if they choose to enforce it, they can. So even if we issue, but we are allowed to issue municipal violations for possession of marijuana. I'd like to clarify when and how the distinction is made. If the state wanted to come in and enforce their law, they could do that too. They haven't, and so, but could we get a little bit of background so we have a better understanding? This is more of a discussion of finding out what the law is, where the cutoff point is, what any DA conversations of, I've heard from the group that is going around and briefing all the mayors and village presidents that the DA in Milwaukee County has chosen not to prosecute as criminal offenses. I don't know where that cutoff point is. So, Chief, could you help us with some background, or Chief, or?
Sure. In your memo, or you should have gotten an email this afternoon with my memo that indicates what the DA guidelines are for. We currently follow those same guidelines, so it's actually.
I checked the link in your email and it didn't work, so can you go over what the DA?
Didn't work?
There was a link.
I was very proud of trying to.
I don't do this.
Try control.
I was pulling
click.
this hyperlink.
What?
I was trying it and I couldn't get to it, so.
I'm sorry about that.
So can you just say what the DA, what does the DA do now?
So it's 28 grams is the cutoff. So an officer may issue a municipal citation for possession of 28 grams or less of marijuana, which appears to be solely for personal use. Under the following circumstances, simple possession of marijuana shall be referred to the district attorney's office. The amount of marijuana is more than 28 grams. The amount of marijuana is 28 grams or less if there's evidence other than amount of drug trafficking. The suspect is on probation or parole. The suspect has a history of violence, including any firearms-related offense. The present offense involved the use, possession, or presence of a firearm or other dangerous weapon. The present arrest came out of the execution of a search warrant. The suspect is known member of a drug network.
So if it's none of those things and it's under 28 grams.
We issue municipal
And
citation.
it does not get referred to the
That is
DA.
correct.
Okay.
Did you mean 25?
What's that?
You meant 25?
I meant 28.
It
Yeah.
says, the statute says 25.
I know, but the district attorney's guidelines are 28, which equals an ounce. It's just under an ounce.
Right.
28.6 is 1.001342 ounces.
And Chief,
Oh,
She's saying I had to Google it today.
reading this public policy forum thing online on my phone, which that's why I asked, thank you, Rebecca, for printing it for us, and maybe we need to come back for further discussion since we didn't have a chance to read it. But it does mention that the law's changed since then at the state level, and now municipalities have the option, if you do for the 28 grams or over, refers to the DA, they choose not to criminally prosecute it, that we can issue a municipal violation.
That is still correct.
Okay?
But the DA has informed us that we need to send it to him first by state law.
And
Over
so in
28.
practice, have you experienced, I've heard that they've not criminally prosecuted, but I just want to know what our.
In the last 3 years, we've issued roughly don't quote me on this, but 320 citations. 3 of them have gone to the DA's office because of other circumstances. So clearly, we just issued municipal.
Right. And then also it mentions that it goes into municipal court. Municipal court does not have the authority to issue, if we choose to go with $1 or $58 with the fees that the state collects, they can't overturn that. They can't make it greater. So that was in here.
I would defer to the village attorney on that.
The municipal judge would impose the forfeiture and
Correct.
now there's, if the case goes to trial and there are extenuating circumstances, there's some discretion built in the statute, but in all the time I've done municipal work, I've never seen, I don't ever recall an incident where the judge imposed a forfeiture greater than the amount on the ticket.
And then I also read, correct, that's what it said, and then I also read that the law, I don't know if the law changed, but a lot of municipalities now, I think the law changed, it says, where we actually can, more municipalities are moving forward with even for second offense and third offense. So as you were
Yeah,
saying.
we do that already.
So, but it's staged with
We
different.
do not send anything under 28 grams to the DA's office, whether it's the first, second, or third
Okay.
offense.
Perfect, but there is, currently it is staged at different fees.
That is correct.
Right, so we could change, like other municipalities, it all to one. It wouldn't matter, that's what other municipalities are doing. Does anyone have any questions? Trustee McCabe? Oh, Trustee McCabe and then Trustee Meyer.
I just wanted to clarify, the agenda item says possible next steps for decriminalization. I haven't had a chance to review all the information, so I'm not in a position to discuss it. So what is our goal for tonight? I mean, I'm happy to listen to all of you too, but if our goal is to determine next steps.
Well, I think that it was a chance to figure out what the law was, and then potentially maybe refer it to committee. Is one possible next step, or listed on the agenda for consideration next time? I guess it's up to the board, but I did want the opportunity to get the questions answered so that everyone can get answers. And then potentially get more deep, and I know I found this online today, and it was the first thing that popped up.
It's yeah, very helpful.
What committee would we be considering?
Public safety. Or it could be that, or community business relations, it could be a lot of them.
Be JCL, because it's legislative. Ordinance.
So you can leave it up to us and we'll figure it out. Or you can vote. What would you like to do, Trustee Maher?
I had a question.
Oh, Trustee Maher, and then Nathan.
Synthetic marijuana, that's regulated separately, or is that all one, but?
It's actually in the same statute, it's listed as marijuana or synthetic.
Okay. And the violations, are you ticketing and there's other circumstances, or is there?
I don't know the circumstance of each one, but some of them are, whether they, was a retail theft that led to a search.
Or you smelt it on someone that you pulled over.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole host, but I mean, the specific, is there other circumstances related to it? I would have to research each one of those to find out. But.
Like impaired driving, I mean, you would a ticket on the impaired driving? Or?
Yeah, I mean, so some of the, on a greater scale, some of the things that aren't being necessarily considered and talked about at this point in time with the legal, because we're working with the Attorney General as well as the Governor as well, through the WCPA on this issue. I mean, some of the issues that come up with this is not the decriminalization we're talking about, but the legalization of it is the drug-induced driving. So right now, one of the problems that we have is that, so when we send our blood work to the crime lab will stop at alcohol, and they will not test any further for drugs because it's much more expensive to do. And so one of the things that we're struggling with is drug driving an actual problem, because we don't necessarily have the numbers to determine that. And so we're working with the state to see if we can't get those tests done so we have a better understanding of the potential issue. And the other thing is all of our officers are trained in OWI detection, alcohol, but none of them are trained in drug detection. So as we move forward, just the things to consider would be the training of the officers to be able to detect this on drivers and those types of things. All the drug dogs in Wisconsin will be done, because most of them are trained in the detection of THC.
Is that why you're only doing possession rather than use? Is that correlated to what you're saying? Like
Well,
possession?
I took it a step further, I'm talking about the legalization
Right, I'm
of
just-
it.
General,
Yeah, I'm just things to think about. But if if we further do this here, we reduce, I just want to throw this out there, that we reduce the fine amount to $1. We do make ourselves a little bit of an island in the metro Milwaukee area.
I think Milwaukee did that.
And so we'll have to look at some of those as far as training and those types of things if we move down that road so far one way than other municipalities. But
Can you clarify that? Because I know at the time that this was written, the Public Policy Department, that they were under consideration, but I do believe Milwaukee lowered theirs to $50.
$50,
Yes,
correct,
so
yeah.
it'd be the same.
I think that the positive amount is 50 plus cost, but I'm not
Okay,
sure.
so we
Nathan
can
doesn't
talk
check.
about that.
So $50 more than,
But I'm just
less
saying,
than one.
and I just wouldn't classify it as an island because we're surrounded by Milwaukee on one side and they're big, much bigger.
Again, that's just
Thank you.
my words.
Trustee Mentor?
In the municipal ordinance 409-15, controlled substances and drug paraphernalia, and then there's and then it says controlled substances. Is marijuana a controlled substance?
Yes,
Correct.
class one. And class one, it says no medical municipal use. And
Well, okay, so we would be, we can't change that it's a controlled substance. And it says it should be unlawful, but how would we change the ordinance? Because it says it should be unlawful for any.
You wouldn't, you'd, all you'd do is you'd be changing the bond amount.
just changing the fee. It's still, you're still getting a ticket.
Oh, okay, so it's still gonna be illegal to possess marijuana even for personal
Yeah, you can't
use?
change
It's- Okay, we're just changing the dollar amount, that's it, okay.
That's what
And
you're
the
talking
courts
about.
have allowed, and that's the interpretation, the courts have allowed municipalities to do that. They also have allowed municipalities to do way more than that. If you look at Denver, so when you read this, when you have a chance to read it, I know, I'm sorry, I found it today, but when you do have a chance to read it, you'll see that what other municipalities are doing around the nation, and it's much further. Again, like I started the conversation, the state always has a right to step in, and so if we issued $1, they could follow up with issuing a criminal violation, so for the feds, they just haven't. And that's why you see Colorado being able to pass the law of legalization, even though the feds can step in and say no.
California, Washington.
So it's an
Right.
interesting topic, and I do believe that I 100% support decriminalizing marijuana for $1 fee. I think that, you know, we probably give a lot of tickets to people that come through from Milwaukee, and it's just another form of regressive tax, meaning putting a lot of poor people, getting them records, and I just think it would be easier on them. Trustee McKay?
I'm just, again, concerned because it's suggested for a discussion of possible next steps, not whether we support it or not. So
Sure,
I feel like we're a
understand.
bit off agenda.
I would suggest, if I make a
Did you say
motion, that-
discussion and possible next?
Of next steps for,
I would make a motion to refer this for further discussion and consideration to the Community and Business Relations Committee Chair, the Trustee Bachler.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Why would this not be a public safety? Because we're doing it by the staff person, and the staff person clearly is chief member.
I will give an example of why I would think this would go to.
It's her pet project.
Well, okay,
No,
sure.
I'm just saying, you're sponsoring it.
And also the community spoke really loudly at the last election, saying 79% of the voters are in support of recreational legalization of marijuana. So I understand what you're saying, and perhaps this is where it could start, and I'm fine if it goes to public safety, but if we want to start in community business relations and then move it to public safety, that's an option as well. Or if you guys want to take it to Cal. And a couple of the reasons, some people might be wondering, why is this important? And I guess we can discuss that later, because we're not really going to for that.
I'm happy to discuss
However,
it later.
Although we put this on the agenda to discuss the item, so I don't know,
Sure.
I mean.
I would not like to see this kicked down the road too far. This is something it's timely right now, given, there are many reasons to do this. And also I think that the law is lagging in many ways regarding legalization. And if you want to take a class, what did you say is a class? What is the substance like?
Class one.
Class one. There are many people that have, how should I say it? prescriptions for pain medicines, right, such opioids, et cetera. And we've seen a direct correlation with of real abuse in those and also into heroin use, and which is a very deadly substance. So I think we need to be thought leaders and really progressive here in Shorewood and take a stand as far as how we are trying to decrease those types of issues in our community, of which we've had many in the last couple of years. So, I'm sorry, Mike. So anyway, I would like to see this move to, if not community business relations, to public safety. But I do think that it's something that that as a community, it's overdue as far as discussion is.
So do we have a motion on the table? A motion and a second to, we might not have to, but if you want to do that, that's fine. I just want to make sure, it does say refer to.
Yes.
Okay, and it was seconded. So do you want to call the question? Is that what you're asking?
Yes,
Uh,
the village
after-
manager, if
okay.
you want to speak.
Right.
I would just suggest that it not go to two different standing committees, and I would suggest public safety in light of the fact that